Bill here with another edition of Metal Minutes. Today is Wednesday, November 25th, 2020, the day before Thanksgiving. So let's get right into it. We've seen gold and silver both get knocked down this past week. Gold's down 3.4%, silver's down 3.8% for the 1 week mark. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. But for the year, gold is still up 23.7, silver's still up 36.5 for the 1 year time. Platinum has continued its run from the previous week. It's up an additional 1.3% this week, and we've seen now that they're up 6.6 for a 1 year time. So that's much better for platinum. Still some good value there. Palladium was flat for another week, but it's still up 27% on a 1 year basis. So what's happened to gold and silver? Well, this is a historically difficult period for gold and silver. The reason is there's an option expiry coming up the end of this week for gold, and that is one reason they've tried to knock the metal down below 1850. That's the place at which a lot of these options will expire worthless, and it will save the bullion bankers a lot of dough if they don't have to cough up that gold or pay up on the options. So that's typically what's going on there. And also silver, there's a record amount of silver that's coming up, and a decision has to be made by December 4th. So I believe we'll see some fireworks there in silver around that period of time, and certainly after that. Now, typically in a presidential year, we see gold coming to a temporary high point near the end of November, and then by usually the first or the second half of December, we see it reaching a short-term bottom before it begins to climb again. And this is not a typical election year by any means. We have the COVID crisis as well as the election that's still up in the air. And those of you that are familiar with the term release the Kraken, that's something that attorney Sidney Powell has been talking about. Today, being Wednesday, is one of the days they're beginning to do that in one of the states, Georgia, that's already certified their elections. So we'll see if those get thrown out after what's released today to the courts. But as it stands, even though the press has declared Joe Biden the winner, the certified results still show Donald Trump ahead in this election. So there's still much to be decided there. So this makes this different from many of the elections and we've seen in recent years past. But nevertheless, we see a similar pattern happening with gold and silver, but I believe it may end a little earlier this time. And I think that before we get to the typical bottoming out point in the first or second half of December, I believe that we'll already see gold and silver on their way back up, as they are today. So listen, it's Thanksgiving season. All the best to you and your family. Enjoy your time together, and be careful out there with all this sickness going around. But have a great weekend.